Aaron spent most of his life waiting for the right time, waiting for confidence, waiting for permission, waiting for life to finally start. At 31, Aaron lived in a small rented apartment in Arizona. On the surface, nothing was wrong. He had a job, he paid his bills, he stayed out of trouble. But every night, when the noise of the day faded away, one thought echoed loudly in the silence. Is this really it? Aaron had dreams once, big ones. He wanted to build something meaningful. He wanted financial freedom. He wanted to feel proud of the man he was becoming. But life taught him to wait. Teachers told him to wait until he was older. Bosses told him to wait for the next promotion cycle. Even his friends told him to just be patient. So, he did. He waited, and the years passed by, quietly. Then one evening, after another long and draining shift, Aaron found himself sitting on his couch, endlessly scrolling through his phone. He saw friends and old classmates moving forward, starting businesses, traveling the world, chasing their goals with a bold confidence he couldn't imagine having. He felt like he was watching a race from the sidelines, completely left behind. That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. But it wasn't because he was busy or stressed, it was because he was awake in a way he hadn't been in years. He realized something painful, a truth he had been avoiding. Waiting had become his comfort zone. It was safe, it was familiar, and it was slowly stealing his life away. The next morning, Aaron stood in the shower, the warm water running over him, just staring at the wall. A thought crossed his mind, simple, but heavy with truth. No one is coming to save me. But it wasn't a depressing thought. It was the most freeing realization he'd ever had. In that moment, he understood that if he wanted his life to change, he had to be the one to change it. That day became his turning point. Not because everything in his life magically changed overnight, but because Aaron himself changed. He stopped waiting to feel ready. He stopped waiting for the perfect plan. He decided to act, even while feeling completely unsure of himself. Aaron chose one goal, just one. Something he had put off for years, always telling himself someday. He didn't tell anyone what he was doing. He didn't make a big announcement on social media. He just started, quietly, for himself. The beginning was ugly. He made a lot of mistakes. He felt embarrassed more times than he could count. He questioned his decision every single day. Some days, the fear was so loud it was all he could hear, screaming at him to just go back to what was comfortable. But Aaron kept moving, not fast, not perfectly, just forward, one small step at a time. Weeks turned into months. Most days felt completely ordinary. Some days even felt pointless, like he was getting nowhere. Progress was so slow, it was almost invisible. The initial burst of motivation he felt came and went like the tide. But he discovered something far more powerful: discipline. Discipline stayed. Aaron learned a powerful truth that so many of us miss. Motivation is temporary. It's a spark. Commitment is permanent. It's the engine that keeps you going when the spark is gone. One night, after failing at something for the 10th time, he almost quit. He sat alone in his room, his head in his hands, feeling utterly frustrated and tired. That old, familiar whisper came back. Maybe later. Maybe someday. You're just not ready for this. But this time, something was different. Instead of listening, Aaron answered back, out loud, to the empty room, "Someday is today." That moment didn't make him fearless. It didn't magically erase his doubts, but it did make him responsible. Responsible for his own life, his own goals, his own future. He kept showing up, especially on the days he didn't want to, and over time, something inside him shifted. He stopped looking for approval from others. He stopped comparing his journey to everyone else's highlight reels. He stopped waiting for some external validation to tell him he was on the right path. He slowly, painstakingly, began to trust himself. A year later, Aaron wasn't famous. He wasn't rich, but he was different. He was stronger. He was calmer. He was more certain of who he was and what he was capable of. The man who was once crippled by waiting now stood on a foundation of his own making. Then, an opportunity came along, a chance that he couldn't have even imagined handling before. It was a chance that required confidence, preparation, and courage, all the things he thought he lacked. But this time, Aaron didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, and it worked. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't easy, but it was enough. He succeeded. Looking back, Aaron realized the biggest mistake he ever made wasn't failing. It was waiting. Waiting kept him small. Action, even imperfect action, is what made him grow. If you're listening to this right now and you feel stuck, if you feel like you're waiting for your life to start, I want you to understand this. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need the perfect time, because it will never come. And you definitely don't need to feel ready, because you probably never will. You just need to start, because the life you truly want doesn't begin when the fear disappears. It begins the moment you decide to stop waiting. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that can help you change your life.